Hello and welcome to part 7 of my championship Lode Runner video walkthrough here on YouTube. In this video I will complete levels 31 through 35. Level 31 is a maze of false floors and floors to dig, which can be completed in 15 seconds once you've done a lot of mapping work. Level 32 is an interesting one where you work downwards through 4 platforms and then need to deal with regenerated enemies at the end. Level 33 is probably one of the easiest levels, but I didn't realize how to eliminate the need to make enemies cough up one tricky gold chest. Level 34 is the longest level in this walkthrough, as it's full of split-second runs where you need to duck in and get back to the safe main area. The end can have a nasty twist too. It alone brings the gameplay in this video up to average length. I like level 35 a lot as it's different from the usual sucker everyone down and run up past them level. You need to buy a lot of time. Okay, I will explain this. The explanation takes longer than the gameplay. You just have to map things out. You go into the second right, drop down, dig left, and then you drop down again as you go to the left, and you get the gold chest. And now only one enemy will come after you. Dig and run past them to win. As with level 29, it's hopeless to map out all the false floors. But with some play, you'll notice there are false floors up left and up right of the chest. That means there must be a false floor above the gold chest, then 2 and 3 and 4 above that to access it. But how to figure this out concretely and how to get there? Here is my reasoning. Label the chambers 1 through 6 at the top, left to right. Dropping through chamber 3 either leads to a false floor pit trap or to a near miss one left of the gold chest. 1 or 2 can't go any further right, but they can lead you safely back to the left side. 4 is a pretty clear trap if you drop down and poke around a bit. For 6, note the left square is a pit trap, and the right hand can lead to safety but no more, even with the best possible arrangements of false floors. That leaves chamber 5. Falling through the right floor and then pushing left almost works, but you wind up falling through a false floor 1 right of the gold. So you must dig and fall left. Then fall left again and again. Now falling right to above the ladder would fall through the false floor right of the gold, so you must fall left again. That does the trick. I think this is a really neat level, because it can make you come up just short to the left and right, which feels a bit mean, but that is also a clue as to how to really solve the level. Okay, so what we do is we dig and drop left and have the guy chase after us. That makes things a lot easier. Wait for him to run at us, then run over him before he gets to the ladder and get the gold here. And now we're going to take a bit of a risk. We're going to put the guys in here, and there is a possibility that they might leave a gold in the 2x1 pit. We could have played it super safe and just kind of dug left of the pit and gone right on the rope and kept doing so until they were gone or until we got the chest. The rest is pretty straightforward though. We just want to make sure that the guy below passes by, so we actually might want to wait a bit longer to make sure of that, but not too bad a level. With this level, it's pretty clear you cannot get back to either of the top 2 levels of the main bowl-shaped structure once you leave. However, if you don't drop immediately left to pull the first enemy over as in the playthrough, you can climb down the ladder to the left so that enemy falls to the bottom, then sweat out them randomly releasing their chest later. For the second top part of the bowl, my playthrough was a bit inaccurate. To ensure enemies don't leave chests behind in the 2-wide pit, you want to dig left of the pit to get its gold safely, then go left to the ladder and wait and go up. Wait for the hole on the right to heal, then dig left, go to right, dig left again, and run quickly right and down the ladder, so the enemies will run at you, and none will take the released gold chest. 2 will be trapped in the pit. 1 will regenerate outside. Then a bit of care is required for the final 2 levels. Before digging and falling to the bottom, check for enemies coming from the right. The RNG had mercy on me in this one. The strategy of going right and then left is a good one. You can also just go left and pick stuff off the top right later. The enemies aren't really going to be chasing you. The problem is that gold chest the enemy just took at the bottom is going to be hard to get in normal circumstances. I got lucky with the RNG, but what often happens is somebody gets that gold chest and then you have to go up and down the ladder in the center to push them right and then push them left and try to get the guys to transfer the gold chest to the right. This is also tricky. You want to go down so that the enemy falls down and then you climb up the ladder. The other 8 gold chests aren't hard. You can get the ones in the corner by digging left from the zigzag ladders, and then you'll go to the top left and right, and then dig the top beam and then inside from that. I'm going to do that twice, but I'd really like to describe how to get that gold chest if it is in the left. You do not want the enemies to go up to the upper left and maybe lose the gold chest there because there's no way you can get that. However, here you can see that they start to head right, and then you'll want to go up that first stair when they're about halfway there, and hopefully they'll release when they go back left, or the person in front will release the gold chest as they're going back left. That'll move it to the next person to the right, and then you do that a bunch of times. Eventually the RNG will be merciful to you, and you can run in for that chest. Here, the main nuisance, besides moving quickly up the center alternating ladders when you need to, is the enemy potentially grabbing a gold chest at the very bottom, and you won't be able to dig them out. Avoiding this is simple in concept, but requires some timing. For my playthrough, I just rode my luck and hoped the enemy released the chest when I bounced up and down on the bottom ladder, which works without too much frustration. But I was curious how to do it without relying on any RNG. Here's how. You have plenty of time to grab the 3 gold chests at the top, then fall left and dig left to catch the enemy falling from the left. Though you can just go left if your fingers slip or whatever, and get the upper right later. That will waste a bit of time, but it's no big deal. Drop immediately down the left side to get the gold at the bottom. Then climb up 3 ladders so you're above one on the right. One enemy will pass below. Drop down to the bottom once the enemy falls to one left and up of you. Then when the enemy above falls down to the bottom, snake your way up. The enemy may follow you, but you can go up and to the left and dig. I recommend the left so that you can go to the bottom again and let the enemy fall, and maybe the next time you snake up, they'll run into the lower left. Digging and trapping the enemy may cause them to spawn in the upper right, which isn't fatal, but it isn't fun. The false floors may fool you once, but there's only one way to get trapped, and you almost have to aim to. The end of level ladders that appear are irrelevant. There's a lot to do here and a lot of really exact timing you need. So one of the first things to do is to move out to the right to fake the enemy so that you can get past him as he falls down. Now another thing you want to do is to trap him in the upper left so you can at least take care of some stuff. I should have waited to dig so that I wouldn't have had such a time crunch. Now here I fall left and then I fall down and go back up. And then I dig again to get the gold chest that's a bit closer. You want to really crank the speed down here because, as you notice, I'm just barely making it out as the floor reappears. So now for the next little stunt, I'm going into the bottom left. What you need to do here is make the guy fall left, otherwise he will catch you if you get the lower left gold piece. So, you just repeat going all the way down, then going left and up, and eventually you will need to move the enemy elsewhere in order to get the gold at the very top of the tall ladder. And I just did, and you don't really have to move the enemy that far left, just enough to sneak up there. And again, I will move the enemy so that they are nowhere near the gold chest that I want to get. And it would be nice to be able to go faster, but I don't see a way to do it. I ran into a lot of trouble. And here I managed to get the enemy to move to the far left so that I can pick off the remaining gold chests. I probably didn't need to move all the way up and down, but I just wanted to make sure that I had enough time and space. The cement row above the bottom is very helpful for distracting the enemy so they don't run right after you. Now I might as well pick up this gold chest too. And now I release the enemy in the upper left in order to trap them in the lower left now that the lower left is done. And this is a bit tricky. You can see I move up from the ladder, dig left, go to the bottom, and then dig left. And if I hook around left and fall left, then I trap both guys in the lower left. And now I can go with the timed puzzles, which the toughest one is the one at the very bottom. Now I could have gotten both of those gold chests on the left that aren't at the bottom in short order, but I think I slipped up a little and didn't want to risk it. So this very lower left gold chest is tough, and you notice I just barely made it. And I'm just going to keep picking off gold chests one at a time. There's nothing else really to do. It's just going to take a while. And you want to know which way you're moving a bit before you do so. You can anticipate a bit, and you should. It's better than moving a bit too late, especially for the lower left gold chest. Okay, 3 to go now. The other 2 should not be a problem. You can slip up a lot, but the lower left one requires you to be pretty exact. I also realized that I probably could have gotten 2 gold chests. But again, I didn't want to risk things. 2 gold chests only if I went down, not if I went up, because that would be an additional 2 squares. Now I'm picking off the gold chest to the right of the 2 wide ropes, and there is nothing else on the left. We need to complete the right last, because once we fall to the right, we cannot get back left until the level stairs appear. And we want to try and not kill both of these guys if we can, because one of them can block us from leaving pretty effectively. There's a way around it, but it's a bit tricky. We actually have good RNG here. Both of the enemies are going to be blocked off in the upper left. And also, you see, we can just dig once to give this guy the runaround, so we have less chance of somebody appearing in the regular area. And now we can just walk left, fall, walk left, go right, fall, and so forth, and go to the bottom. And we could just go to the exit, but I want to show something. First of all, I tried to dig so this guy would be coming down, and there I trapped him, but he wound up in the upper left. So I'm just going to show how you would fake the enemy out if he were in the upper center. It's kind of split-second timing, as the level title says, to get to the lower left cinder block, and then you drop right once the enemy is close, and then he will follow you to the bottom right. There are only 2 false floors here, and you can probably guess where one of them has to be. The other doesn't really matter, as you will be going right after getting that chest anyway to get back up as quickly as possible. The end of level ladders on the left don't matter, but you need the one in the lower right to escape that area. I showed the way to use it in the playthrough if an enemy is guarding above. Once you've pulled one enemy right, the other shouldn't be a problem if it's not trapped in the upper left, as it won't guard you as closely, so you can just go right on the rope to pull it right, then walk up as it falls. Note the rope across the top right ensures that enemies don't regenerate there. This may provide immediate nuisance when digging during timed runs on the left, but it also makes the right area less frustrating, as dealing with 3 enemies there would be very thorny. This recap is short compared to the playthrough because I think explaining the timing puzzles won't work nearly as well as showing them. Just remember to keep the game speed low if you want to try it yourself. Okay, you don't have to go left right away on this level, but it's nice to have that chest to start so you don't have to drop into the left and go back. You should have enough time to drop down if you pull the enemies to the top, but right now I'm just kind of digging here on the main brick level. I'm waiting for the enemies to get close so that there's no tension about, oh, will the holes fill in or won't they before they get there. And now I've got plenty of time to go to the upper left or upper right, but I notice that the enemy regenerated in the upper right, so I go to the upper left. Now my main goal here should be to dig a bunch of the bricks to see who has a gold chest and who might release one. As things are, there's only one guy that can have a gold chest. That is the guy that just passed the ladder now, the second behind the leader. And now I'm going to the right, dropping off the rope, because you'll see what happens. I'm going to drop to the bottom, and the enemies aren't going to use the ladder because they see that, oh, how do I get to the guy's level? I fall off the rope, and I go to the bottom. That's where he is. So that's a way to take advantage of how the monsters think, and if you know that, I think the level designers wanted you to. So I'm crossing my fingers a bit, hoping that final guy doesn't have a gold chest, and indeed he doesn't. I've made it. The false floors here wind up quite useful to distract enemies, who use them instead of taking the ladders, which you can then climb unimpeded. The end-of-level ladders aren't too surprising, though it is nice to have one on both sides. They're where you'd expect, so you pretty much only need one dash to the top where you can run back, then another one where you don't need to, because you got all the gold. While regenerating enemies may take these chests so you don't need to go back up, it's most likely the far one will remain. You'll need to get way ahead of the enemies once when going to the top to do this, and luring them to the bottom helps. They don't have to be perfectly lumped together, and I've found it works well enough to dig along the alternate brick cement beams, but don't dig and fall through the edge brick until someone gets close. The right beam has one more brick to dig, so if you have a choice, go right. Then wait at the bottom for enemies to fall down and run up. Repeat as necessary, and if you want, dig behind to see if the enemies have any gold chests. That's all there is to this video. Thanks for watching through, and if you enjoyed this enough, giving a like or subscribing if you haven't already goes a long way in encouraging me to share more videos of fun games you may want to revisit or didn't realize you missed. See you next video.